I beat Resident Evil 4 as Wesker. Here's how that went. For this challenge, I had to use Wesker's loadout in the Mercenaries mode. His loadout consisted of a handgun equipped with a silencer, a Killer 7, and a semi-automatic sniper rifle. The handgun stats were 2 for firepower, 0.33 for firing speed, 0.87 for reload speed, and 25 bullets for magazine capacity. For the Killer 7, the firepower was 35, the firing speed was 0.70, the reload speed was 0.93, and the magazine capacity was 14. For the rifle, it had 15 firepower, 1.83 firing speed, 1.33 reload speed, and 24 bullets for magazine capacity. Since I had an assortment of weapons, I did not compensate myself with more ammo since I didn't have a knife. I ran into my first boss fight after attempting to go on a lovely boat ride, the Lago. This boss fight hasn't really changed much since the last time I beat him, and he ended up just being a nice walk in the park. Right after beating Del Lago, I was met with El Gigante. They must have put him here as an attempt to suck up all my ammo, but the attempt didn't work at all, since it took me 6 shots to kill him. For the cabin fight, my strategy downstairs was to blast as many Ganados as I could with my arm thrust, and my strategy upstairs was to knock all the ladders down and let Lewis take care of any Ganados that made their way up into the house. Right after the cabin fight, I decided to save my ammo and go the El Gigante route. This El Gigante went down in less shots than the previous El Gigante. It surprisingly only took 4 shots to put him down. After that, Torres Mendez wanted to meet the infamous Albert Wesker, but unfortunately for him, it didn't end well. Torres Mendez was shot 12 times and left by himself to die in a random shack in Spain. If you see this man, please alert the authorities. Since I had such an interesting loadout, I had to come up with a good strategy on how to effectively use it. I used the handgun on Ganados, Dr. Salvador's, anything small, and anything I could use Wesker's arm thrust on. His arm thrust is his melee attack where he thrusts his arm at an enemy he staggered, and it has such a devastating effect that anyone in close proximity to the staggered enemy will be affected. Now for the sniper rifle, that was in charge of large enemies such as Garradors and most bosses like the Big Cheese. The Killer 7 was used for 3 enemies and 3 enemies only. U3, Krauser, and Sadler. This helped with ammo conservation and those difficult bosses. One thing in this run that was particularly difficult to deal with were the Novistadors. These guys really slapped me around worse than when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock.
Uh-oh, Richard! Oh, wow!
These enemies were too small and quick for me to use the sniper rifle on, so I was left with using my handgun for these guys. After that, Salazar sent us down to fight Verdugo. He managed to swallow all of my sniper rounds, so I hightailed it out of there and left. Almost immediately after that, Capcom sent us into the room with 2 El Gigantes. Using the same strategy as the Hunk video, I used the lava trap to take care of one of the El Gigantes, and I shot the other. After getting past the 2 El Gigantes and some other rooms, I have to ride in a minecart. Again, for this part, I tried to utilize the same strategy as I did in the Hunk video, where I tried to knock down as many Ganados as possible from the platforms before they jump off into my minecart. Shortly after, I have to fight Salazar. This boss fight was a breeze. I just stayed in one spot and shot him with the Killer 7. Playing as the notorious Albert Wesker really brought some peace into my soul. This was my all-time favorite character in the entire series. I really think that this was the best villain/boss in the Resident Evil franchise because of all the character build-up and involvement he had with the original games. So beating my favorite Resident Evil game as my favorite Resident Evil character was just such an awesome experience for me. Anyways, enough sentimental talk. Now let's get back to the actual video. So in Act 3 of Resident Evil 4, we have to fight these things called regenerators. Well, you do. I don't. I completely ignored them in an attempt to save myself time and ammo. At this point in the game, we got the dozer ride. This actually wasn't as easy as I thought. What made it difficult was how underpowered the handgun is, which led to me getting swarmed, so I had to approach it with the rifle instead. U3 was a lot easier for me to fight this time around since I saved my magnum ammo for this fight. And a side note, the cage part was starting to show me that I have improved at those quick time events in this boss fight. Krauser was a lot easier this time around compared to how it was fighting him when I was playing as Hunk. That's probably because I used the Killer 7 on him and it wiped him clean from the game. And now, finally, after everything, I am faced with Sadler. This boss fight took a lot longer than it usually does, it felt like, but I could just be going crazy since I refused to use the special rocket launcher, and I have done this so many times. Please help.
Hey, wait a minute. What happened? What happens next? Come on, let's see the next episode.
That's it?
What?
Right here is as far as I could make it in this run, because my PC couldn't handle everything that was going on, and it would crash as soon as I get on the jet ski, so the stats will never be known, because I absolutely did not keep track. So, if you liked this video, please leave a like, and comment below who you think would win in a fight between Wesker and Hunk. Me personally, I'm leaning more towards Hunk, but you know, it's up for debate. Anyways, I will see you in the next video.